Hey everybody, we are live.
Hello.
Anyway, we've been traveling and working, traveling. We've just been in Vegas for a week, learning to be better event people.
We had a really awesome time in Vegas.
It was awesome.
It was so awesome.
Anyway, we're going to talk about relationships and how to have great relationships. Ashley and I have an amazing relationship. We know many couples that do have great relationships, and we thought we'd share some tips on what it takes to have an amazing relationship, or how you can better improve your relationship with the people who are key to you in your life. So we're going to share some things.
I'm going to share some ways that we recommend in terms of having a great relationship.
Communicate openly and honestly. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but it's the key. And we both came from relationships that were not the greatest in the past, and communication would often break down. I will admit, Ashley's a much better communicator than I am at times. We have a really great, amazing life, and I don't put up with anything that interferes with our lives, our business, our kids, or whatever. So if I have a problem with Ashley, and it's so rare, or if I see something going in a way that I don't like where it's going, I'll immediately address it. I'll bring it up immediately. And I don't know if it's a muscle I developed or what it is, but I realize things are so important in what I do in life that open communication is key.
It is, it's critical. And I think one of the things that I've noticed, and again, Gus mentioned, we've both been in previous marriages that ended poorly. We want to put it that way.
Expensively.
But we're extremely happy together. And I think part of it is, part of why I pay more attention to this now is because I can look back at ways that I either wasn't good at communicating or wasn't getting the communication that I needed to confidently. It's really about building our family, building our empire, so to speak. So really understanding how important it is maybe didn't occur to me as much in my marriage.
In previous relationships, and I know many of you feel this way. You feel like you're a sole survivor. Like you're trying to survive just yourself in your own relationship, in your own life, and
That's a good way of putting it.
And after the rest of after everybody else, I don't even have my own stuff together.
Well, that's it. And you're so focused on doing what everybody tells you should do, which is just go with it, put up with it, tolerate it, because that's what they're doing. And so you get lost in, all right, I'm trying to manage the house, the spouse, the kids, the career, that I'll speak from my experience. I just let stuff slide. And I was just like, okay, I'm just trying to handle everything. So for me to raise the bar and say, no, we need to work on the way we communicate with each other. It just didn't seem like a priority at the time, and then by then the bar was so low it didn't matter anymore.
And that communication can be tough. So you might have to start with little things and you might get help. You might get help in your communication. So anyway,
communicate openly and honestly. It means sharing your thoughts and your feelings with your partner and being willing to really listen and really take what's important to them as important to you, because if it's important to them, it's important to your relationship. I'll go with number 2, which is be supportive and understanding. Be there for your partner in good times and bad. Offer your love and support unconditionally. Try to see things from their perspective and understand their needs, even if you don't always agree with them. I know that there have been times where Gus reacts to something.
Me?
Well, we all react to things, but sometimes your reaction will be a way that I wouldn't react to that same situation. And it doesn't mean that something's right or wrong. It just means that you're wired a little differently and you're different people. And of course you're going to have things that you disagree on, or that triggers you in a different way. Being supportive and understanding of Gus gives him the space that he needs to have that reaction without maybe taking it further or holding on to it longer. And he does the same for me.
It's a positive thing. Be supportive of each other's goals. We have goals and dreams, and that's what's really important. Like, where are you going in this life? What do you want out of this life? How are you going to get there? You know, you get your dreams down, and what's it take to get there? You can't do what you want to do without having support. If you want something bigger in life, you need other people to help you get there. If you have a comfortable place to live, you know, you might have to sacrifice where you're living for a couple of years to get to where you want to
that next level,
where you want to be.
Yes, totally. And having obviously your partner or your relationship with you on that is pretty important if you're going to make some big moves together. You need that support. You need that, hey, this may be uncomfortable for a little bit, but it's going to get us to where we want to be faster. And are you on board with me on that? And this is what it'll look like. So cool.
This next one's big.
Okay.
Be respectful and trustworthy.
Mm.
I'm going to repeat that. Be respectful and trustworthy. And I'm going to add a memo to that. You need to respect yourself first. You need to be trustworthy to yourself first before you can expect respect from anybody else, or you can give respect away. Is that true?
Wicked true, man. He just got right to it.
Well,
yeah, that's like 100%.
We see that. We see people.
Well, that's it. You see what happens if it doesn't. If it's not there, right? You see somebody who's either not 100% confident in themselves and the way that they treat other people, like, you're supposed to do this for me, you're supposed to do this for me. It's like, this isn't an entitlement. This is a two-way street. You need to be respectful of me, and I need to be respectful of you, and that's how we build something together as a team. If
you're in a situation where you're being disrespectful, or you're being disrespected, or you're being disrespectful, nothing good can come out of that. You have to change that. Yeah, and even people, and I'm very lucky that I grew up in a family that had a pretty strong moral compass, I guess you would say.
We both did, which is probably why we get along so well.
But to go from not having it or not respecting yourself, I mean, you need to do that first. If you're out of shape, you need to work on your health a little bit. You're being somewhat disrespectful to yourself. Now, you might have a serious illness, a serious problem, but you still can be the best version of yourself with that ailment, what's going on. There's still things you can do to be there.
And you know that. Like, you know if you're taking care of yourself or if you're not. You know if you are doing what you can to take care of the people around you. And if you're not, then that's where you're not respecting yourself, which makes it so much harder to respect other people, flat out. I mean, it's just, it's pretty core. So I'm really glad that you brought that up.
So then let's be respectful of each other.
So the next one is number 4, make time for each other. It's important to schedule regular time to spend together, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Now, that's not an issue for us because we're together a lot. We take time to check in on each other, like make sure we're on the same page on things like, hey, this is coming up. Do you need me to do this? Do we need to take care of that? What do you want to do in terms of this something? Because if we're not getting on the same page over these things, they're kind of loose ends that'll end up tripping us as we get further down, and then it becomes a more stressful situation.
On that same note, one step further that both of us do, there's things that Ashley likes to do that I wouldn't necessarily be my first thing. She loves to go to museums, and we do arts, we do parks, we do a lot of that artsy stuff. I love it when we go there. I like to do, more maybe shooting guns and golfing and cars and stuff like that. But we both check in on each other to say, hey, do you want to do this? Let's put this on the books and let's do it because it's important to you. And that's the time we spend.
Absolutely. And even if it's something you don't necessarily love to do, if it's important for them to do it, come along. Unless it's something you absolutely despise, figure it out. Like, be a team player. Gus gets to do stuff that, we do stuff that Gus likes to do. We do things that I like to do. Nobody's winning. We're not keeping score.
I can't walk past the guitar store.
And I don't blame them. They're so pretty. I don't know anything about them except they're pretty, and I go in and watch, and it's cool. And to see him have a good time is good enough for me. So that's part of the making time for each other.
Be affectionate.
I like this one.
Ashley likes to cuddle and
I do.
hold hands.
I do.
We do that all the time, but it means it really hugs and kisses and
Taps.
rubs my shoulders.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you know, having that physical touch, having that physical connection, hugs, kisses, and cuddles, they're all great ways to show affection. And even if you're not thinking about it, it's a way to show love. It's a way to show appreciation. It's a way to, what?
I'm pulling my hair back.
Okay, go ahead.
It's tickling my ears.
Oh, I don't have that issue, but that's okay. I'm sensitive everywhere else. I can't stand it here. Anyway, number 6, show appreciation. Let your partner know how much you appreciate them and all that they do for you. This could be something as simple as saying thank you for making dinner or for giving you a massage.
There's still some cases. I'll give you an example. There's still some of you out there where one of the spouses is working outside the house and one of them staying home with the kids. They're both. I think staying home with kids is more difficult than working outside the house. I'll be honest. And then it's usually a woman's role, but I'll just say that I wouldn't want to stay home with the kids all day. But there's appreciation on both sides of that. You know, thanking your spouse for working so hard to provide for your family, and then thanking your spouse for providing for your family by keeping a safe and happy and working home.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's the case.
Just thanking each other, you know, thanking your partner for doing their part, for making your team work is so huge, right? Because this is it. This is the stuff. This is the work. And I think what happens with so many relationships, certainly we saw it in our previous relationships, there's a tendency to say, yeah, well, he's supposed to do that. Or, yeah, she gets all of this, so of course, I'm gonna, you know, she has to do that work to get to that. And I can just tell you right now, entitlement is not something you want to have in your relationship, because if you get to that point where you're like, well, you know, she's lucky to have me because I do this and this and this for her.
That's not going to work.
You got to switch that around and show some gratitude.
You got to change that.
Yeah.
Change that too.
I'm happy to do the laundry. I like the finished product of when I do laundry. So it's not that I enjoy doing it, but sometimes it's just a break from what I have been doing. I put on some music and I'm putting clothes on hangers and stuff. And in fact, there's a load in there right now. And then when I bring his shirts up to him, he says, thank you. He says, wow, you know, thank you for taking care of me, because it's a form of appreciation for me to take care of his laundry. I'm happy to do it. It doesn't take a lot of extra time. It's something he doesn't want to do, and I'm perfectly happy to do it. But it's the appreciation that we show for each other in our roles. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Number 7, be willing to compromise. No two people are exactly alike, and there are going to be times where you disagree with your partner. It's important to be willing to compromise and meet each other halfway. It doesn't happen often with us, but it absolutely does happen. We are not the same person. We're very similar, but there are times I want to do something, he doesn't. There are times he wants to do something and I don't. We're willing to compromise. I go on my morning run. I do it by myself because I kind of like that time to just be by myself. It's not a lot of time. I do it early in the morning. Generally, I leave when he's still asleep or just waking up. And I don't think we have arguments about it. I mean, it's not like I'm not doing it at a crappy time of day for us. It's not in the middle of something else that we need to do. We get to number 8.
Forgive each other?
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
I think one of the key pieces on the forgive each other is drop it.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring it up again. Don't bring it up again when you're having maybe a similar argument. Like, because as soon as you drag that baggage back up, you are doing that thing again where you're poking holes in your relationship. But well, so was mine. He remembered everything, and it would come racing right back. If you can't let that go, you're poking a hole in your relationship. You're keeping your relationship from growing to the next level because you're just pulling all the steam out, and you're really putting a weight on it. So forgive is not. It's acknowledging that the other person may have hurt you, it's also coming to an agreement to say, hey, I don't like it when you talk to me that way, or you're using a word I don't like. I have a friend who, her husband flat out said very early in their relationship, like, don't ever use the F word with me, like on anything. Like, he's just like, don't, like, that's just not cool with me. And it was probably from something in either a previous relationship that he had or something with his parents, where that was just not a respectful word for him. And so but the one time or maybe the next time she used it, it was just like, okay, forgive me. I didn't mean to use that as a way to hurt you. It just fell out of my mouth. I'm going to be very careful about this moving forward. And, again, like, just forget. You don't have to keep bringing it back up. So there, that's what forgiveness is about.
Forgiveness and respect go hand in hand.
They really do. But forgiveness is key.
Number 9, have fun together. We have a lot of fun.
We do have a lot.
I also make her laugh.
You make me laugh every day.
Actually,
sometimes several times a
I can
day.
I'm not saying I can be a comedian, but I can pull one-liners like nobody's business.
He's a really good storyteller too.
Actually, will drop something out of her mouth and then almost try to pull it back because she knows what I'm going to say. It's just like
he's gonna go for it.
I'm going to serve it back, and then she's like hysterically laughing.
But it's said in fun.
Yeah,
that's not as a as a singer, because sometimes people can be a little rough with each other.
Go on adventures, try new things, have fun together.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are not fun.
That's true.
Ashley and I visited 2 places in the last year where I turned around and said, probably the last time we'll be here. They weren't bad. It was just like, there's more fun places to go.
And that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah, take that chance. We take that.
Even when we're on the plane going somewhere, we have fun together.
We had a really small window. Ashley, this is one thing Ashley didn't join me on, but she liked the story. My AV guy and we had about 2 hours to kill. We actually went surfing in San Diego, and it was a blast. I was hurting for 3 days after, but it was a blast.
And I was busy having a personal conversation with one of the people at our event. So it was just sort of perfect for me to be able to devote that time to her and building a relationship with her while you were off surfing, as much as I would have had fun watching you guys. But it was cool. Yeah,
so have fun, create fun opportunities, do something you've never done before. Everybody lives in an area that has something cool to do in it and you haven't done.
We're going to jump to number 10. Yeah. Don't take each other for granted.
That's big. Yeah.
Don't take each other for granted. Relationships take work. Make an effort to keep your relationship strong and healthy. And just remember, no relationship is perfect. There will always be ups and downs, but if you're both committed to making it work, you can overcome any challenge.
If you're not committed to making it work,
it won't. Everything lynches on the commitment. The issue is, am I committed to being in a long-term, loving, healthy relationship? Because if I'm not committed, this is never going to happen with anybody. We all have to, in ourselves, decide if this is something that I really want, if it's something that I'm going to commit to, I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to do what it takes. And I may sacrifice a couple of things to make that happen, but those sacrifices are so worth it.
Thank you for spending time with us, and we will see you sometime next week. Okay. All right.
Thanks for hanging out with us.